Have you ever wondered, how do these balancing bird toys work? Well, today we're learning about all of this and more with my balancing act experiment. Hi everyone, I'm Emily Calandrelli, MIT engineer and host of Emily's Wonder Lab. And on my channel, we learn about all things space and science. So grab your friends because you're about to witness something amazing.
Emily's Science Lab, stay curious and keep exploring. Emily's Science Lab, stay curious and keep exploring.
To understand how these balancing bird toys work, you have to understand something called center of mass. The center of mass is the average point of all the mass in the object. And to balance something, you simply need to put a balancing point, like your finger, under the center of mass. But in a bird like this, it feels surprising that I can balance it under its nose because so much of its body is behind its head. You would think maybe that you would balance it by putting your finger under the belly, but watch what happens when I do that. It falls forward. Why is that? Well, they are very clever when they design these birds because if you look closely, you can see two weights at the very tips of the wings. So that is shifting the center of mass from its center closer to the wings, in fact, right under the bird's nose. Today we are going to use what we know about the center of mass to balance a fork and a spoon on top of a glass. What you need for this one is a fork and a spoon, a glass, and a single matchstick. Here's what you need to do. So you want to take your fork and use your spoon to do this. We're going to pry the two prongs and the middle of the forks up a little bit because what we want to do is wedge our spoon in the center, just like so. Kind of push it in as much as you can because you want them to stick together just like this, okay? Once you do that, stick your matchstick into the middle prongs of the fork, just like this. Take your matchstick and place it on your glass. You need to find a good position to balance it. I need to go a little bit forward. Perfect. And this is how you balance a fork and a spoon on a glass with a single matchstick. This is the magic of irregularly shaped objects when it comes to center of mass. Sometimes the center of mass, the average position of all the mass in the object, is outside of the object. That would be where we would put our balancing point. But if we didn't have our matchstick, we wouldn't be able to do this. So our matchstick allows us to reach that balancing point, to reach that center of mass, allowing us to balance our fork-spoon system on our glass. Now here's something really fun you can do. Take a lighter and light your matchstick. Parents and adults, because we're using fire, you want to exercise caution here. You should be the one to do this. What do you think will happen? When I light my matchstick on fire, what will happen to our fork and spoon? Make your guesses. Woo! It stays right in place. And watch, I can just knock off the end, just like that. Because our balancing point wasn't towards the center of the glass, our balancing point was right on the edge of the glass. So all we need is a single touch point from the match to the glass to balance our spoon and fork. And that is how you balance a fork and a spoon on the edge of a glass with a matchstick. If you're having a hard time getting this to work, just play with different forks and spoons because you know there's variability in the weight and how bendy those prongs are, so just try different ones until you can get it to work. Okay, let's try this again. Oh! Now watch this. How cool is that? It looks like it's like defying gravity. That's basically the nose of the bird right there. These are the wings. That's the nose of the bird. Thanks for playing with balance with me. If you like this one, be sure to check out my best-selling Stay Curious and Keep Exploring book series for 99 more science experiments. I'm Emily Calandrelli. Subscribe for all things science and space. And remember, stay curious and keep exploring. I'll see you next time.
Emily's Science Lab.